technology that helps our recruiters and our talent acquisition leaders really understand current market conditions for each individual job that gets opened. So this isn't like reactive market intelligence or insights based on a job that's aged and a hiring manager that's really upset. This is proactive intelligence that we look at before we even get to the intake call, so that every recruiter and every hiring manager are having a conversation that is truly rooted in today's market conditions for that specific opening.
Yes!
As long as you have individuals who are curious and like open-minded about making a change and transforming for the better, there's nothing that's really too scary, in my opinion.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassenbeff Incorporated. We're gonna do it.
Welcome to the HRIS Careers podcast with your host, Troy Wallace, a podcast for human resources information systems professionals to help you elevate your HRIS career. We always say no one gets into HRIS on purpose, but it sure is interesting to find out how they did. We interview your HRIS peers to find out how they got tricked into the industry and what lessons and tools they use to progress their careers along the way. We discuss industry trends, AI, and even talk candidly about all the most popular HRIS platforms. Just think of it as the closest bar just outside the entrance of your favorite HR technology conference. Now you get it. Welcome in. Welcome back to the HRIS Careers podcast, recording live as usual from the beautiful studios in downtown Omaha, Nebraska. Today's guest is Rebecca Volpano. She is the Vice President of Product Marketing at Cielo Talent. If you're looking on the web, that is CIELO, like the Spanish word for cloud, TALENT.com. Rebecca shares how, in her words, happy accident took her from retail operations into a leading global HR tech and innovation position where she's shaping the future of talent acquisition. As you heard in the intro with the Laverne and Shirley drop, we tie some things back to the hometown of Cielo and Rebecca, which is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have a little bit of fun there. So if you want to head over to YouTube, you can see the clips that I threw in there. In the episode, we dive deep into how AI is transforming candidate engagement, speeding up the hiring transactions, and she talks about why it's critical to meet buyers where they are in their tech adoption journey. Plus, Rebecca gives us an inside look at the next wave of Cielo's AI-powered tools and what skills TA pros need to stay ahead. And yes, this all started with a pair of purple socks at the HR Tech Conference. So stick around to the end. We talk career opportunities at Cielo for folks with HRIS skill sets and what the next 18 months look like for talent acquisition tech. If you listen past the outro music at the end, you will be treated to another HRIS Careers podcast outtake or blooper. Without further ado, Rebecca was just a delight to interview. Great story, especially for anyone who's aspiring to get into HRIS from a different career path. So please enjoy this conversation with Rebecca Volpano.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Rebecca Volpano, welcome to the HRIS Careers podcast. We really appreciate you being here. You are the Vice President of Product Marketing at Cielo. You helped me with the pronunciation there. And I met Allison Seedy, and I'm going to put a picture of these beautiful purple socks up on the screen so anybody on YouTube can see. She gifted me this beautiful purple Cielo socks at HR Tech last September and followed up with her a couple times. I had heard you on the Chad and Cheese podcast in their AI sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what a perfect guest. So first thing we always ask people is, Rebecca, nobody gets here on purpose into HR technology. Can you give us a high-level view of how did you get into the role that you're in now?
Yes. Well, originally into HR and recruiting, like many of us, I think I fell into it. I was not expecting to land in talent acquisition and definitely not in HR technology. But I started in operations, and my role was to streamline and kind of simplify the work that we did across multiple clients. And so for me, that naturally kind of went into technology. I learned quite a few applicant tracking systems, HRIS systems, and that's really where I found my passion for HR tech. And so I've been here ever since. I moved into an analyst role, a consultant role, and then I had the great privilege and honor of leading us through a major tech transformation a few years ago. And from there, we created a product function. And now I'm in product marketing because I really like telling our story. So it's been a really natural evolution of kind of a nerdy passion of mine, but technology has always been something I've been interested in. I did not know that HR technology existed before I landed in it. But it's been a really happy accident for sure.
And we're going to talk a little bit about this. You hail from Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
I
and you
do.
said Cielo has an office there. Was
We
it originated there, or is it just a kind of a satellite office?
No, it's our North American headquarters. So we're headquartered here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So, do you come to Milwaukee often?
Well, I'm a regular visitor here. Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
I was not aware of that.
A global organization of about 2,600 individuals, and we've got over a dozen locations globally. But yeah, this is our place in the U.S.
All right, so this is not on the script. So I usually do some interview notes, prepare people. I don't like to surprise them, but you opened the door. So do you recall the first kind of applicant tracking system that you worked on?
Yes, it was Taleo was my first one, with one of our clients. And then, I went through certification for, SuccessFactors, and then I was working on, one of our clients', HRIS integration. So those were kinda like the first, 3 systems that I was working in, but Taleo was the first one. iCIMS, I think, came shortly after that group, and then I just was really rounding out all of the systems between clients.
Oh, well, maybe I'm gonna weave in some morning music, Mourning for Taleo.
Wow.
Um,
Yep.
you probably don't know this, but the way I actually make money is through a small consulting company called HCM Cloud Consultants that specializes a lot in Taleo and a
Yep.
little bit Oracle Recruiting Cloud implementations. And I really thought I could ride this out to retirement, but they're going to do their darndest to kill it off.
Yeah, RIP.
Yeah, so I will link in the show notes. I did an episode about anybody who's moving off Taleo, kind of a game plan to get ready for that. Um, Interesting. So you're kind of agnostic to the platform.
Yeah, our client one, so Cielo, our clients globally, we work with, basically every single applicant tracking system and HRIS combination you could think of. And so for us, it was really important that we had individuals on the team that were specialized in multiple systems. We do absolutely have individuals who, know and love one system and have all of the expertise and configuration in that regard. But for me, in like an operations role and really trying to support as many clients as possible, it was important for me to learn quite a few. So to answer your question, I don't know that I have a favorite. I think that all of them have areas of opportunity for sure. But yeah, there's some fun things and definitely some things that I miss about Taleo, but we can talk about that in another time.
Well, you ruined my follow up because I wanted you to pick a favorite. I really wanted you to pick.
I like right now, kind of leaning into the conversational components. I think like I enjoy seeing the applicant tracking system providers moving away from, kind of rigorous like status changes in the system and moving into more of the automated and conversational components of the applied process. I think, we saw a lot of change in high volume recruiting within the last 10 years and kind of gleaning the best practices from getting candidates through the process as quickly as possible. I'm excited to see providers kind of taking that next step and making it conversational.
Right. And I think everybody gets in their little silo of businesses and my consulting. And
Mhm.
so when I started the podcast, I said, I need to get out there. So I went to the HR technology conference, and you walk in that meeting hall,
Yes.
an exhibitor hall, and it just smacks you in the face at how much is
Yeah.
out there. So I'm walking through, and I'm just trying to talk to a lot of people about what they do. And when I talked with Allison, who gave me the lovely purple socks, um, my first thing is, okay, you're a recruitment process outsourcer.
Mhm.
That's what your business is. But that's not necessarily true with CLO, is it?
Right. It isn't. So we started as an RPO. That was kind of our inception. And then we've expanded into a variety of consulting services. So we offer executive search, we offer employer brand, an employer brand agency, and recruitment marketing and branding support. We have a HR tech consulting offering. So again, kind of that system administration, talent, kind of platform assessments, intellectual generosity across all of those things. And then recently, what we've decided to do is kind of take our expertise in talent acquisition and create our own HR tech tools. So when you saw us at HR Tech, we were exhibiting our latest technology offering. So still talking about talent acquisition services for sure. But to your point, RPO was not the focus at that event. And honestly, is something that we still see a lot of organizations leaning towards RPO, but it isn't, the only thing that we do.
So I've listened to podcasts with you as the guest, and then fairly recently, so I don't want to, maybe I'll get the mix up who said what, but I don't have his name. I should have looked it up before.
Okay.
But I think he's kind of like your head HR techie person, for lack of a better term. And he was on the, I think he was on the Tim Sackett
Oh, sure. Mhm.
podcast, HR Tech, and he was talking about some really. Number one, I'd like to have a beer with that guy. Maybe I can get him on the podcast down the road as well. Just he seemed just really curious and interested in really in creating a great user experience, especially in the recruiting world.
Yeah.
So, if somebody wanted to come to you for kind of the HR tech stack ATS process improvement,
Mhm.
what would maybe they don't want to do full recruitment process outsourcing, but they
Mhm.
want your advice on the technology. What would that kind of engagement look like?
Yeah, so we have an entire team that does exactly that. And I think you're referencing my colleague Jason Roberts, who is on Tim Sackett's podcast.
Yes.
And for us, experience is the first place that we start. If we're going to implement something new, we're going to develop something new, we want to understand how it's going to impact the experience of not just the candidate, but also how does it impact the hiring manager experience? Does it impact the recruiter experience? Does it impact the overall leadership experience and our ability to meet business goals? Like those are all things that we want to consider before we roll something out. And so we have a team on our consulting side that specialize in exactly that, like taking a look at the tech stack. So doing a full assessment of an organization's tech capability and then looking at the experience that it provides. And from there, we'll make recommendations. So it could be here's a point solution that you should add on top of an already strong applicant tracking system, or here are recommendations on where you might make some replacements. And then we also provide implementation and integration services. So if an organization says, great, Cielo, like, thank you so much for this recommendation. We'd like to move forward with this new tech stack. We can help them get it implemented and integrated. And it doesn't have to come with Cielo services outside of that, to your point. So it doesn't mean that we're going to be then that organization's RPO or that we're going to be providing anything, long term. It could just be that shorter term engagement to get them implemented and online.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so I just clicked the see more on your LinkedIn profile, and I was guessing that you came from a more operational
Yeah.
background. And when I clicked that, I was like, oh, yes, you did. Based on all those roles you've had at CLO.
Mhm.
Um, so because you are, I'll call you more operational, which I think everybody should do,
Yeah.
going into sales or customer support, and then you progress into client success and support. Now, as a product manager, like what
Mhm.
do you consider, or VP of like product marketing?
Mhm.
What do you consider your product? Is it consulting and it's technology and it's RPO, what does that look for you day to day?
Yeah, for me, it is all of them. So it's really how does Cielo show up in the market and what do we provide? So exactly to your point, I'm looking after RPO and other talent acquisition services. I'm looking after consulting, so tech consulting and brand, executive search, and then our technology offering as well. So I have the privilege of looking after all of them from a product marketing perspective. When I was on the product team, I was responsible for just one of those verticals. So I was really responsible for our talent acquisition offering. So what we call TA optimizers, which is essentially, a bite size or modular approach to RPO. You don't have to outsource the whole thing. But if you need help scaling a certain part of your business, so maybe that's sourcing or screening support, we can come in and provide that. So when I was in product, I was much more narrowly focused. And now in product marketing, I get to put my hands in everything.
Got it. So I'm going to dig back a little bit because
Sure.
we're really curious. I know we talked a little bit how you got into it.
Yeah.
So when you worked for L Brands,
Mhm.
was
Well,
that in a recruiting capacity or was that totally different?
completely different. So it was retail operations, and one of my favorite things about that was kind of standardizing the way that we worked and making that repeatable in multiple stores and in different markets. And so when I was considering a career change and leaving kind of the retail world out of college, I I came into recruiting and talent acquisition because I really liked kind of that feeling of, being able to standardize something, being able to drive operational excellence out of a process, find some of those like bright spots or opportunities. So definitely have an operator mindset. And I was just really lucky that, Cielo's values really aligned with where I wanted to go. Like I said, I really had no idea what I was getting into. In my previous life, recruiting was a really small part of what I did. And even then I was on the hiring manager side. So it was nowhere near as involved than I could have even imagined. But yeah, it's been really great.
So again, we always talk about, I don't think I have the t-shirt on today, but we always say HRIS, nobody gets here on purpose.
Yeah.
Actually, I think today I have the HRIS mode one underneath here. um, uh, so my wife came from a retail background
Okay.
and she likes nothing better than a messy back room to straighten it all up, get it all situated.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but it's her happy place.
Yeah.
Um, but that's still quite a transition. Did CLO just hire you just because even though you didn't have experience in that thing, they saw all of the other intangibles?
Well, maybe I had some marketing skills in me then, that I'm hopefully, using now, but I definitely, I think helped them see the transferable skills from retail into talent acquisition.
Right.
Again, I will tell you, I had no idea what I was getting into. So they were probably just like, wow, okay, this is, a new thing for us. But, ultimately the operations role that I had where I got to kind of look across clients and figure out how to kind of standardize them. I think they could see that work was transferable from what I did previously. I won't lie, there were lots of really late nights when I started and lots of YouTube videos on how to configure Taleo and all the things to try and get me up to speed. But yeah, I think they definitely saw kind of that transferable skill, the mindset that I had towards helping us meet some of our business goals. And I'm really lucky that I had really great leadership from the day that I started with the organization now almost 10 years ago to today. Just individuals who can see that potential and who really want to see people succeed. Like I was never, turned down or told no when I put my hand up and asked for more, or if I needed help with something, or if I, just wanted to um take a look at another area of our business. Everyone was always so accommodating so eager for me to try something new and even fail forward. So I'm really grateful that I've had such great leadership in my tenure with Cielo.
That sounds like a great experience. Obviously, being there for 10 years, would speak to that. All right. Because you've been in the weeds doing what a lot of us HRIS people do,
Yes.
let's talk about you come into a new client.
Yeah.
What's a couple of things that you don't want to see?
Hmm.
When that you're like, "Oh my goodness, this is gonna be a challenge." Is it lots of unions? Is it bad technology? Were there any themes that developed? Like, when you walked in, you said, "Boy, I hope there's not this," and then periodically you ran into that thing?
That's a really good question. Um, I don't think so. In the sales process, like, that you probably aren't getting the full picture, right? Like, you're going to
Right.
dive into discovery and you're going to find things that maybe they didn't even know were a problem for them. So you're prepared in that regard. Um, I think the toughest thing, and where we don't always have great alignment with clients, like when it's not going well, is when the client isn't up for the change. Like, they really actually don't want to make the change that they signed up for. I think that's actually the worst thing that can happen, is when you get into a discovery session and you realize that there isn't actually the appetite to make things better. That's really the only thing that I could say is like my alarm bells start going off. Otherwise, if it's like bad tech, bad process, disparate data, not enough data, even if they've just signed a contract with a tech where you're like, I wouldn't have made that same decision, it all still like works out in the end. As long as you have individuals who are curious and like open-minded about making a change and transforming for the better, um, there's nothing that's really too scary, in my opinion. I don't know about your opinion. I would love to know if there's one that you're like, I've been burned by this thing too many times to want to repeat it. But yeah, it's usually if we get into an agreement where they think they want to change, but then they really don't.
That's a piece I didn't really think about, but it's so correct. There is nothing worse than you get in and, maybe it's even a C-level executive has decided, "We are going to do this, and here we go," and then you get in, and maybe you're the implementation consultant, and you
Mhm.
find out that 90% of the people
Mhm.
have no interest
Yeah,
in doing the thing,
it's tough.
and it is really difficult to overcome that. We did a whole episode on change management,
Mhm.
and getting, change management certified. And, we hit a lot on that. And, really in that change management process, you're trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yes.
But too many times you're correct. It certainly does happen. No, that's a really interesting one that I had not really thought about. I was thinking more of like tactical, highly unionized environments, where you've got different types of contracts and everybody has to be treated differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens in government or school systems.
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting. All right. Well, I know we have to get you out of here, and I do want your prognostication about what the next 18 months look like
Mm.
with Cielo's offerings.
Yeah.
Before that, I always like to have a little bit of fun and do what we call the lightning round.
Oh boy.
I will ask the questions quickly. We'll do an abbreviated one.
Okay.
If you are not interested in the question, just say pass.
Okay.
We don't force anybody to answer them. So we're going to go with question number one.
Okay.
We said you're from Milwaukee, grew up there. I don't know if this place still exists. Have you ever been to Spy's Demise?
I have not. What is that?
So I would say maybe it was an early kind of speakeasy, but it was more like it was a spy themed bar and restaurant. I think it was
Oh,
in downtown Milwaukee.
okay.
And the whole thing is like you couldn't find the front door.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Called the Safe House
Oh,
now.
the safe house.
Yes, it is.
Aha.
And it It is definitely infamous in Milwaukee. So I have been to the safe.
You have been there. Okay.
Yes.
The safe house.
Yes. For any of you coming to Milwaukee for the first time, don't go there right away. Just, come
That's not
to
the
me.
first place to go.
Come to me if you need, dinner recommendations, and then you could go to the safe house later.
Yes, that I think this was, back college days when
Yeah.
we hit that place. All right, number 2.
Yes.
What's the biggest tech buzzword that makes you cringe these days?
Oh my gosh. Um, it makes me cringe because I think that we don't know how to use it quite yet. Like, people are throwing the term around and they're not really sure what they're talking about. I would say the agentic buzzword right now is one
Ding 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 ding.
is a frustrating one because I don't think that many people really know what agentic AI means. And that's okay, but just let's stop calling everything agentic.
Yes, at least it took over just general AI or generative AI
Sure.
in
Yes.
general. But yeah, agentic, and it sounds to me like when they say the word agentic, it's like they know it's really not going to do what you want it to do. It's not really quite there. It's not
Yeah.
really an agent. It's agentic.
Good point.
Yes, I would agree. That is making me cringe as well.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 3.
Yes.
Favorite Wisconsin comfort food to brainstorm over?
Ooh. I'm Polish. I really like pierogis.
Oh,
There's
all
a
right.
pierogi bar downtown Milwaukee that they just specialize in different ones. So I would definitely recommend that place if you're ever in Milwaukee. Yeah, nice comfort food.
Nice comfort food. All right. We'll end on this one. If you could gift every recruiter one kind of productivity tool, can be real or even imagined, what would
Um,
it be?
I would love to gift recruiters a truly agentic assistant that could update their ATS statuses, system statuses for them so that they never had to do that again.
Yeah. So, I'm messing with agentic things just in my business and, trying to get as up to speed as possible. And,
Yeah.
I'm in the Oracle ecosystem and they're coming out with their set of tools.
Mhm.
Shouldn't be that hard, right? I just want to speak into air
Right.
and have it happen.
Yeah,
That's what I want, right?
exactly.
Go disposition John Smith with this and send the correspondence or, something like that. That's,
Yeah.
that's truly agentic and truly understands.
Agreed. That's it. Not too hard.
Well, then that leads me into kind of the final thing I want to cover with you is listening to yourself and your HR tech experts there at Cielo.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see in your offerings
Mm-hmm.
that you are excited about offering to your clients that you think are real, like things that can really happen in AI or your product offering that you're coming out with that's going to roll out over the next 18 months?
Yeah, so we have some really exciting things in our AI toolkit. So we have and they are agents. This is truly moving in that direction. Technology that helps our recruiters and our talent acquisition leaders really understand current market conditions for each individual job that gets opened. So this isn't like reactive market intelligence or insights based on a job that's aged and a hiring manager that's really upset. This is proactive intelligence that we look at before we even get to the intake call so that every recruiter and every hiring manager are having a conversation that is truly rooted in today's market conditions for that specific opening. So when we talked a little bit earlier about experience, I think a lot of the technology that we're bringing to market is heightening the experience for our recruiters, for our hiring managers, hopefully for our candidates. And so market intelligence is a huge area for us. We're also exploring employer brand. So, thinking about helping organizations build stronger employer value propositions, recruiting the right talent to the right jobs, So improving, the quality of the application, the quality of the hire, like all of those things that we know are really important to organizations, especially when hiring is a little bit slow still. We want to make sure that we're, dedicating the right time and energy to the right candidates and the right requisition. So I think for me, it is all about like getting to more. I've been really excited about this AI era because I think that it will allow us to do more actually with more. We're constantly told to do more with less and to squeeze as much as we can out of, our team, out of our budget, et cetera. And so I think that truly leveraging generative AI, truly leaning into agentic capability can actually get us to the work that we know we need to do. We just never have time for it.
Yeah.
And I would love to say that Cielo will build an agent that can, take a verbal request and speak it, have you speak it into existence. That would be fantastic. Not on the roadmap yet, but
Right.
yeah,
Hopefully somebody's going to get there. I always say somebody's going to get it right at some point. But,
yeah,
I've been in this 20, 25 years and, we keep getting closer and you get the Workdays and SAPs and the Oracles. And you think, they should have all the resources in the world. They should be able to get like the whole stack, but nobody can quite get to the perfect
yeah.
situation.
Well, and I do think that generative AI is going to take us there. You're right. Like we've been on the cusp for so long. And I think that generative AI does have the capability to get us there. And that perfect version could be very different for every organization. Like, and I think so it's really interesting to think about where I started my career in talent acquisition, which was let's make everything as similar as we can. Like, let's make it the same. I think now with generative AI, we actually have the tech to make it a bit more bespoke, but still get the same output, the same outcome from each of those individualized stacks. So I'm excited to see it take this new direction. I think we're really close, if not here already. So
Well, it's just amazing. I think the arms race
Mm.
is the slight tweaks and customizations, and there's I always wonder, is it going to be work for HRIS consultants down the road? And I feel there's still enough customization, tweaking. The technology has obviously gotten much better,
yeah,
even in 18 months of making sure there's not as many hallucinations. But that's something I feel like you're still going to always have to guard against a little bit. So there's always going to be a place for tacticians and
yeah.
strategists and to tell the AI what to do. At least I hope so. At least until I retire.
Well, I think, to your point, like the HRIS consultant, the analyst, the system administrator, these are all individuals who have spent so much time learning their system, honing their craft, and becoming the expert in making the technology work for that business. I think that that skill set is going to be even more important with generative AI. So yes, it might be learning a little bit, learning some more things around generative capability and how to work with the AI. But our group of individuals, like we already, I think, have that skill set. And so it should be transferable to whatever generative capability comes onto the scene. It's just how do we help our business now talk to the generative AI tool instead of maybe, the HRIS configuration.
Right. And oh, I don't want to. And we can cut this if we need to. But so the CLO, if someone comes to you with nothing, maybe they've grown to 700 or 1,000 people and they just have never invested in a
Mhm.
technology or applicant tracking. Maybe they're still on spreadsheets or Google Sheets, Airtable, whatever that they've concocted to run their business. Can you provide a ATS system with all of the technology, or are you still typically working with the vendors and maybe even Paradox and some of these companies to stack things together?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So we work with organizations kind of at the enterprise level generally. So where we see that is in like divestiture and M&A activity
Yes.
where
Yes.
we're spinning this off and like they don't have any tools. Sometimes we provide an interim solution. We don't make an ATS ourselves, so we have recommendations that we would put in. Generally, that's part of our Cielo Talent Cloud ecosystem. So that's going to be a combination of smart recruiters and Paradox. And so we would put that in either temporarily and then help them with their ATS selection and like building their long-term stack, or sometimes they adopt that as like their long-term tech play. But to answer your question, yes, if there's an opportunity for us there where they have no tech at all, we have quite a few recommendations that we would put in to make sure that they can get up and running in, as short of time as possible.
Excellent. All right. So the last thing I always want to bring it back to is, since it's HRIS Careers.
Yes.
So I'm looking at your career site right now.
Yep.
About almost 50 open positions, 15 here in the United States. We cater a little bit to people in North America.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not the Vice President of Human Resources or Employment, but are there skill sets out there that you would find valuable when you're out there trying to recruit new people? Are you looking for people that maybe have been recruiting for a couple of years and then you're willing to bring them on and train them? What would that look like?
Yeah, really, really great question. So, on the, kind of the recruiter side, so for individuals looking to join our organization and support our clients in recruiting, we absolutely do hire kind of entry-level recruiters with a few years of experience, and we have our own Cielo Academy that we take individuals through that want to grow their career in recruiting. So if they want to become a technical recruiter or specialize in another way, or move into another area of the business, we have lots of learning opportunities for those individuals. On the consulting side, so like what we're talking about, HRIS, our consulting team that does kind of those tech stack evaluations and implementations, they are a team that's growing and adding individuals who have, specific skill sets. Like, we're looking at individuals who are certified in Workday. I believe we offer a smart recruiter certification. So there are ways that if they're coming to us with maybe a couple of systems in their expertise, we can then help them grow into any of the others that, we have a large need for. So I would say, honestly, like the biggest skill set for me is really curiosity. I think a lot of jobs are going to change over the course of the next few years. The World Economic Forum cited that like 22% of jobs are going to change in the next 5 years. And so that means that, we could be looking at different competencies, different job titles. And so I think as long as people are curious and open-minded and open to trying new things, like that skill set will be invaluable. So that's what I would say. And I know that, as operators and mostly analytical individuals, sometimes it's not easy for us to think about like what does it look like if we don't know exactly how it's going to shape up, but just, staying curious and learning new things is going to help, I think, a ton.
Yeah, I hear people say you're not necessarily going to lose your job to AI.
Mhm.
You're going to lose your job to somebody else who knows AI.
Exactly. I say that to our clients all the time. Like, I don't know that you're going to be replaced by AI, and you might not even be fired for not using AI, at least not right away, but your competition is going to start outperforming you. And then it's going to be a conversation around, well, we could have done something and we didn't do it. So I agree. Like learn about AI. There's tons of free certifications. LinkedIn offers a certification. Cielo offers an AI certification. So learning about, AI and how to apply it to HR and TA is going to be, a really critical next step.
Rebecca Volpano, I really appreciate you being on the show. The show notes will be packed on this episode with the things Cielo related. Anything that you want to leave the HRIS Careers community with?
No, I don't think so. It was a great conversation. Thanks so much for having me, and look forward to connecting with some of you online. So reach out to me on LinkedIn if you want to continue the conversation.
Excellent. We really appreciate you being on the show. For the HRIS Careers community, we'll talk to you all later.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Here we go.
Then let me press recording is going. Volcano. Okay.
Exactly. Well, and half of my husband's family says Volpano, and the other half says
Ah,
Volcano. So like tomato, tomato. You
got it.
can't really go wrong. But
Okay.
yeah, Volcano.
All right. Awesome. Hey, Rebecca Volpano. Uh-oh, I'll cut that.